All praises to the Most High YAHAWAH. Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Welcome. Thank you for being here. It is good to be here. It is very good, brothers. This is good. This is nice. Oh. Yes. This is good. This is good. Thank you for being here. We're about to start the study. We have a lot to go. We are going to study the Egyptian war, the triumphant return of Remeses, aka Moses. We are going to see what happened and how the Egyptians celebrate their army. We study for a fact how before they go to war, how they perform the ritual, and then we'll know after the war what they perform to thank their gods for victory. And how did they do it? How did they treat their prisoner of war and the spoils that they took? What happened? Because we know for a fact King Okorish, the Ethiopian king, had waged war upon the Egyptian. It didn't end up well for him. All right, brothers and sisters, welcome. Let us begin. All right. Now, excuse me. Forgive me, I've been out with the family all day, and I was out there and I was studying, and I am about 85. Nope, I am 90%. No, let me see. 350. Oh, nope. 85. I am about 85% done with the Pillars of Fire. I'll say it about a day or two. I should be finished with it, and I am page 300 something. So this book has about 448, and I believe before I take my break, we will go to this book. It's very short. The United States and Britain prophecy, and if the Most High allow, we'll go into it. And after that, I'm going to take a break, not a hiatus though, not a very long pause period, but I'm just going to take a break to working on a certain things that I have. Give me a second. Yeah. Only the Most High know. So I don't know why Father is doing this to me, but anyway, yeah. Excuse me. After the break, after we done studying this thing, and I will take a break, and I have certain other things that I'm going to walk into, but I will still do the prayer. And well, sometimes we might still do the prayers, but I will be a little bit busy walking around and some craft that I have, some stuff I have to make, and I'll be a little bit missing on the action. But times on time, we will have a little podcast, a little this, a little that. but I must perform certain things, and then we should be good. Brothers, sisters, as we see the hand of the Most High stretching upon the nation. Shalom, beloved sisters on lookout. Um, the Most High is heavy in the midst of the people. The Most High is heavy in the midst of the Gentiles. And we see what's going on over there in India, brothers. We see this morning what happened in the land of Iraq, so to speak. When this thing happened, and for some people were shocked and like, oh my God, and stuff. But most of us were not, because we witnessed this thing before. There was oh, let me see. Oopsie. All right. Oh boy. Wait on that. There we go. Uh, we saw in Italy, brethren. Shalom, welcome, brothers and sisters. Welcome. Thank you for being here. It's good to be here. We saw in Italy last year it happened. A hospital blew up because of this the oxygen. Though they are highly flammable. So, and what happened? The the what happened? The equipment caught on fire and the hospital blew up. So again, it happened in Iraq and Egypt. The power went out, and it's just everybody died. Everybody was in the ICU, die in one instant, brothers. Everybody died. So, and this is no joke. This is nothing we can sit there and then give the credit and say it was staged, or saying that, oh, the so-called Illuminati killed them. Now, before I go into any further, I clarified this multiple times, and we have new people on these channels, and they are wondering why I don't. Well, why I don't believe in the Illuminati. Some people are saying, okay, they have respect for me, but there's secret society out there and stuff. Brothers, sisters, I'm well aware of that. I'm not stupid. I'm well aware of secret society or people out there and stuff. I'm well aware of that, but I don't give them any credit, and I don't fear them. Our people, they like that. They like the idea of a boogeyman, somebody they don't know, somebody in the shadow and stuff. And we told you, the very people that are in the shadow, that were in the shadow, are the priesthood of Mahan. We brought them into the light. Now we know for a fact that they are the one that are behind all this. What you're calling the Illuminati, the elite, those guys don't know anything. The priest of Mahan, once you start reading these books and the other books, you know for a fact the guys that hold all the knowledge when it comes to things like that are the priests. The so-called the Hollywood actors and the singers, they don't know any better. They told them things. They told them. They have their little secret group they form. People like to be like, people in general, brothers. They want to belong to a group of people that doing great things. It's something that is in all of us. We want to belong to a group of people that do great things. We told you, and I'm gonna keep saying this again. Give that fellow, the one that they call Bill Gates, a pot and some water, he won't even know how to boil it. Those people, their specialty is to project to you how smart they are, how they can control everything by taking credit. He's a cheater. Okay, he will sit next to the Mosai, watch what the Mosai is doing, and then copy it and put his twist and say, I did this with no proof. I did this. And then the scumbag, the dumbasses in the class don't know anything. They'll praise this guy and say, he's doing this. Wow, this guy is so amazing. You see, the point of being a secret society is to be secretive. Secret society will never put themselves out there in TVs and with signs and things like that so people can recognize them. Oh, hell no. They don't do that. Many people, as far as we're concerned, brothers, we are the only people that know about the priest of Mahan. We know what they did and how all the knowledge that we have, they kept them to the Holy Spirit, guide the beloved brother Big Judah and the brother Eldeah and all the other brothers that brought us this knowledge from the Most High directly. We know those guys have books they don't release. And what they do, they will take those books, brothers. They know for a fact certain events going to happen. And then they will just like send their cornies online saying, oh, this is that going to happen and so. And then when it happens, you see, he did say it's going to happen and it happened. That means he did it. We do not give credit to none of those people. And I do not acknowledge them. I know for a fact they are so-called secret society. And I told you those guys have no powers whatsoever. Once you start reading this book, you will understand those guys have no power. It's called illusion. They can make illusion. If I'm waving my hand like this, you can see 4 or 5 hands moving. I only got one hand. It's called illusion. They are good at making illusion. They are good at talking hish. That's why the Most High allowed them when he sent Moses upon the Pharaoh. He threw the stick and then he turned into a snake. And they did the same thing. They think they did this. They think they have the power. And then once Moses and Aaron and the Most High start doing things on a bigger scale, they start backing down because they can't do those things. They can do those things. There are a few stuff those guys done and things like that. You know, people think they are doing this, and I laugh. I saw them, I mocked them, I laugh at them. I'm like, you guys have no idea what the Most High can do, man. You guys do this little trick, this little illusion, and people frightening and they run. They run to that Jesus Christ. Oh, Satan is doing this. Satan is doing evil weather pattern and stuff like that. They have no power. They can do none of those things, brethren. That's one of the reasons I don't even acknowledge this. And if you want to acknowledge those people, you want to give them credit, you want to raise them above the Most High, this is not the channel for you. If you're one of those new subscribers, this is not the channel for you. People now are sending me emails about the name of the Most High. Why do some of us refer to the name of the Most High as YAHAWAH? And some people say, oh, well, the name is not YAHAWAH, it's Yahweh. It's not Yahweh, it's YAHAWAH. If you want to fight about name, if you think you can put a name upon the Most High and you own the Most High, as if the Most High is your dog, you give it a name. As if it's something that you can buy a car, you name the car Tiffany or Paul, or you can give it a name and you say, this is your name, that's what I'm gonna call you. And if you take your heart, if you think you can call the Most High the name by your mouth, by your lips and tongue, and then in your heart you're saying something else, I don't discuss this. To each his own. You want to call the Most High this? Some people call the Most High here YAHAWAH. Some people call it YAHAWAH. Some people call it Yahweh, Adonai, El Shaddai, Anoke said, Anoki said. The Most High know your heart. He know your hearts. We don't discuss this. We don't. Brothers call the name YAHAWAH. You want to pray and for the God that we believe in, we're good. But if you come here, you want to impose and saying, no, his name is not this, is not that, it's that. This is a specific name. If you don't call it by like that, it will not heal you. As the Most High is so simple as you are. If you're walking in the street, brothers, down the street, men or women, you drop your purse, you drop your wallet, and somebody saw you drop that, you did not see this, and that person run and pick your wallet and then say, hey, sir, you drop your wallet. And then you turn around, you say, you were walking, you drop your wallet. You will look at the wallet and you see your picture and then there's, oh man, thank you, man. Nobody here will walk up and say, somebody saying, hey, yo, you drop your wallet, and you keep walking because A is not my name. Hey, he's not. I don't care who this person is talking. He's talking. Hey, hey, hey. You in your soul, you can feel there's a distress. This person is scared. Hey, hey. You will turn around, see who is he calling. He pointed out. You say, yo, you drop your wallet. That's how the Messiah is. When his children, the one that in the jungle, the one that don't have internet and stuff, they are crying truly with their heart. They cry. The Messiah hear them, and he turn around. He look at. Is it one of my kids? And say, oh, those are my children. He will help them. You think you, with your name, oh, the name is not this, it's not, it's not. No, it's just, brothers, the more you read, you start understanding the Messiah is beyond everything, brothers. You cannot put the Messiah in one box and then you contain him. He will turn around. Are you referring to me? No, I'm not referring to you. I'm referring to this guy. When a group of people are walking, somebody say, hey, 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 everybody will turn around. Which one you're talking? And oh, not you, him, you, sir, you drop this. And then the person will look at say, oh, this is me and stuff. And then he will thank you. There's a relation, something is connected. When you hear the sound, alarming sound, you're going to look around and see what's going on. But because this alarming sound is not saying your name specifically, you will not heed to them. How stupid are you? How stupid are you? How stupid are you if you stay in Florida? They say your area are going to be hit by hurricane and stuff like that. And then they said, be ready. Because they didn't say specifically they didn't specifically say your hood. They didn't give the name of your hood, and you assume because they're not talking about me. That thing gonna be all over Florida, South Florida. You live there, and you assume like, okay, well, as long as they don't say my name, I'm good. And then you go party, and then the hurricane come, something happened to you. It's just now we're gonna have to stay in there, brothers. We're going to fight. Oh, I call it like this. I'm better than you. Yeah, that's right. I'll call it like that. I'm better than you. That's his true name. Oh, I'm calling that. Are you referring to Cesare Borgia? Are you referring to the other gods? Are you referring to something else? No, I'm not. To whom you referring? The one that created the heaven and the earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Welcome aboard, sir. I'll pray for. I don't care what you're calling it. I'll pray with you. We'll serve the same God. Nope. I call it like this. I'm better than you. I'm calling like that. I'm better than you. If you want to fight about this and that, brothers, please do so. But over here, we don't discuss this. That's the first thing I despise is conspiracy theorists. Brothers, I'm no fool. I'm well aware of secret society and things out there. I don't care about them. I know they want my hurt. I know they want all people to be killed and stuff like that. I don't care about that. I focus myself in the Father. I don't go out there and try to put things like imagining things and stuff. I read things Father sent me. We talk about him. The people bought the dream. They bought the testimony. That's how you communicate with Father. You don't seek the enemy. You don't seek to know what they do, what they are doing, what they're going to do. You so focus on the enemy, you forget about the Father. You all up in the enemy game, you forget all about the Father. You so focus on what they are doing. Well, what are those wicked people are doing over there? That's like a straight guy, and so interesting in other guys that are not straight are doing together. What are they doing over there? How does it feel like? I mean, how can you guys come over there and explain to me how when you two dudes get together and then one of you bend the other, and break his mouth, book back, cowboy riding that dirt work? We don't care about that. Those people out there doing wickedness, we are here doing righteousness. We study, bring the light to the people because that's our job. I'm sending you here to be a light unto both Jews and Gentiles alike. Father sent you here. You want to be a scumbag? You want to be going out there in the street arguing with people? You wanna know how the wicked. That's what the book say. Hey, man, don't try to know how the wicked are punished. That means don't try to know how they do things. Why are you so interested in those people lifestyle? Like why are you so interested in what they are doing, brothers? Don't get me wrong. We can type or tap into what they are doing. We wash on some of their subject, brothers. What we cannot put the sole purpose of this channel of our people on what other people are doing. The sole purpose of this channel or in your life is to put the Most High first and the Most High last. Your first and your last priority. The things you need to worry about and the things you need to don't worry about. I don't care about anything else. If this is your life, if this is what you want to do, you want to go out there and worry about Illuminati, man, Beyonce, man, there's secret society out there. They should go out there and tell the truth. That's not their job. Those people are wicked, so be it. A bunch of people want to follow them. Please do so. When you do that, you give credit to the Most High. Another thing I want to address, brothers. When I told my people to stay out of it, when I told my brothers and sisters, let the Most High do his thing, you too little to understand the Most High mind. I meant what I said. People are saying, okay, brother Big Levi, if you were there when that guy was leaning on George Floyd's neck, would you go ahead and interfere with it? And my sincere answer would be no. Because I don't know what's going on, I would not interfere. The Most High used George Floyd to fulfill prophecy. He used George Floyd to shake the world. The entire world see this, and they feel what's coming upon them. When they see this in their mind, they say there is a retribution. There is a God that's going to come after us because we do this. The aftermath of this man's death shook the entire system. And the man that did this to him, he did not get away. Brothers, let's say one of us were there, you interfere with what the Messiah was doing. Listen, again, we keep telling you, you're nothing but, I'm not going to say this term, but you're nothing to the Messiah. He can use you and do whatever he please. That's why I surrender myself to the Messiah. I say, Father, use me in any shape you like to fulfill your prophecy. This is the Messiah. If George Floyd was my brother, my cousin, I would have fight. If I was there, I would have intervened. But if I'm somewhere, brothers, you don't know this person. You don't know what's going on. You just run. Like that guy, he saw this guy punching a 14-year-old girl and then run over there, try to save the girl. He got stabbed multiple times and he died. He's a father of a beautiful 6-month-old baby. Now you die for what reason, man? Because you want to be a hero. You want to interfere with the Messiah? Did you know, you don't know what would have happened when brothers, because of this guy was punching this 14-year-old girl, you don't know what the result was going to be. If this 14-year-old girl is your daughter, that 14-year-old girl is your cousin, yes, I will interfere. Some guys, you on the line with your family, you buying some stuff, this guy stop punching your daughter, I'll grab both of this guy's hand and rip it out of his body. I'll grab his head with my own hand and took his head off out of his body. You're attacking one of my own, one of the people I know I deal for. If I'm working somewhere, I see some dude beating a little old lady, that's none of my business. I'm keeping moving. I don't know what those people were doing. Probably this old lady says something and caused this man brother to get shot and killed. She was gossiping and caused his people to get killed. This man is taking his revenge. That's none of my business. You're driving, an accident happened, a fire, you call the police, brothers and sisters. You are not the police. You are not the firefighter. You don't go over there, try to open the door, be a hero, save people. That other dude, brothers, when the car hit the church, the car caught on fire. He was trying to save the women. The fire engulfed her and her hair. He saw her burn alive. None of you here, brothers and sisters, should witness a scene like this. A car get into an accident, hit a church and stuff. You can call 911. You call them. This is their job. The firefighter will come and then they will open and stuff. You don't be. They taught our people to be the superhero. Always save the master. Always save people out there. Don't save yourself, which you can even do this. Save other people. We told you, don't interfere with what the Messiah is doing. I see two Gentiles fighting out there. I don't know what's going on, brothers. I'm going to keep it moving. I let the Messiah be the judge. I'm nothing. I can get involved in this. When the Messiah raised his gravel and he asked, when my sons judge Floyd, when they kneel on his neck and kill him, and you watch the video and you heard about the 400 years, did you acknowledge that? Did you acknowledge yes or no? Did you make anything for that? Oh, I don't know about this George Floyd guy, man. Brothers, if I find anybody here that say they never heard of this name, they never known what happened to this name, to this guy, I personally will have a talk with you. The Messiah used him to fulfill prophecy. The Messiah used DMX to fulfill prophecy. He used the enemy as a whip in our butt. You don't question the Messiah. You want to be a hero, brother? Go out there, be a hero, man. Go interfere with what the Messiah is doing. We have multiple people, brothers and sisters, that call. They say they saw something was going on. Remember the sister? The neighbor was fighting. They were arguing. She want to go ahead and see what the hell is going on here. What she want to help and stuff. We're not going to say what happened next, but it resulted in a very bad thing. And then she said that was her fault. The other sister, the Messiah retired her. The Messiah said, I retire you. Just stay home, chill, and then wait for me. I'm coming. She heard the call on the radio say, oh, we need more nurses. We need this. And then she go back to work and stuff like that. She got into a horrible accident. And when she was at work, some dude came in behind her without her seeing and punched her in the neck. And she passed out until they bring her back. And then they explain to her what happened. And then she got the message, say, Father, do your thing. I am your child. I'm going to be in the corner and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to behave. Multiple times, brothers, people are calling. Mosiah saying, stay out of the way. Stay. The Mosiah is driving a full 18-wheeler, loaded, super overweight, full speed. And you're standing there. No, you're not going to pass on this road. Guess what's going to happen to you? Brothers, sisters, Jews, and Gentiles alike, I got a little carried away. Let us begin the study, brothers. And again, full disclosure, full disclaimer. If you want to have a debate about what the name means, breaking down scripture and showing how you truly know the name, and then to think like your lips and your mouth is better than what's in your heart. It's better than what you truly worship there. Be my guest. If you want to be a hero going out there and say, oh, this little girl is getting beat on, I'm a save her and stuff. And then you get a shotgun shoved down and then they blow it off out of your mouth. That's your thing. As for me, I will continue study seeking the Most High face with the people that wanted to do this with me. I will worship the God that created the heaven, the earth, and everything in them. The God that made the covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God that put Jacob's trouble upon me. The God that chastised me, and now the God that's saving me. This is the one that I will serve. I don't care what you call it. That's your business. And frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. All right, so we are in letter 19, I believe. All right. We are in letter 19, brothers and sisters. We are going to study what happened. Remember, Remeses, aka Moses, Remeses went to war with the king of Ethiopia. He went to war because the king of Ethiopia, Okoris, invaded Thebes, a city that is close to Upper Egypt. Well, not close, in Upper Egypt. So he invaded the city. This king, I don't know, brothers. When you read the story, he said this would probably the dumbest king not the dumbest. He had the worst strategy, war strategy that this guy ever had. When I'm looking at this, when I'm reading this, wait, this dude, he had too much confidence. And we showed you that the Mosai like to do this. The Mosai like to play with his enemy. He like to make them overconfident. They're so sure that they're going to have victory. And they're so sure they're going, just like brothers. Now I understand. Christopher Columbus was so sure he was going to find the promised land. Those people know, they are so sure the blessing was going to come with them. Guess what? When they come to our land, they bring everything. They bring their men, women, children, beasts, and everything, and their disease too. You know. Just I have a very unfortunate event. My holy slide whistle, and it's broken, but the beloved sister, the most I knew, he foreseen this. He foreseen this was going to happen, and then 3 months ago, he had a sister sent me two more. So, whoops, hey, let me put this right here. There we go. He foreseen this, so he had a sister sent me two more. I got two more there. Yeah, right. So I'm going to glue that. It fell off the thing, so and it broke. But the Mosai, he foreseen this. That's how the Mosai do his thing. He foreseen things was going to happen, and he sent it before it happened. You have something already there. You don't even worry. When that thing broke, I didn't even worry about it. So I like, hey, I got two more. The Mosai got my back. That's how the Mosai do his thing. Okay, before things happen, the Mosai already sent you something, and then so you can take care of yourself. Now, brothers, this is what happened. Let's read. This is Sesostris, the son of the queen of Phoenicia, Queen Epithia. His son was still in Egypt studying, and this is what he would. This is what he would the mother. We're just going to pass on that because it's technically the same thing. We're just going to explain it to the people. My dearest mother, it is many weeks since my last letter was written. This is page 231 in the book. Page 231 in the book. Letter 19 and the PDF. If you are reading the PDF, it's letter 19. My dearest mother, it is many weeks since my last letter was written. The interval has been occupied by me by visiting all places of interest in Lower Egypt, previews of my voyage up to the Nile and the kingdom of the Thebaid, or the Tibai, or it's the Thebaid, the Bide. Well, it sounds like Dubai, but Thebaid. But the intelligence that your last letter, listen to this, brothers, but your intelligence, the last letter contains of the misunderstanding arising between you and the king of Cyprus, and your fear that war may ensue will compel me to abandon my tour to the cataracts and return to Tyre unless the next courier bring more pacific news. Something happened, brothers. Sesostris' mother is into a conversation with the king of Cyprus. Cyprus is another country which is in our own land, which is in the province, which is Shem land. Cyprus is Shem land, but again, brothers, this is how it is. This is how it was and how it is today. Back then, as quote unquote the United States have, for the lack of better word, 50 states. Now each states have a name. Each states back then, quote unquote, so to speak, are considering their own country. Florida is a country, so to speak. Brothers, please, I'm not saying Florida is a true country. This is me taking an example. Florida, quote unquote, is like a country. Georgia is like a country. Okay? Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, okay? All of those states were considering a country, okay? So now that's how it was back then. If you come like if you want to Cyprus and Phoenicia were neighbors. They were close. Let's say, even not close. Let's say Phoenicia were Florida and Cyprus were, quote unquote, Tennessee. It's a little bit far, but it's on the same mass lane. It's on the same mass lane. For instance, Cyprus were Georgia and Florida were Phoenicia. It's on the same mass lane, but it's on two different it's on the same mass lane, but two different names. It's just names. That's all it was. Okay. So now this king of Cyprus, there's something going on with him and the queen of Phoenicia. So there's an argument between them, and he wants the queen to submit to something. And the queen sent his son a letter saying, I have no choice, my son. This man is threatening me. I'm going to have to raise my army. And brothers, understand this. To raise an army back then, there ain't no joke. It's still this day, it's no joke. To move an army, Sun Tzu said, to move an army to go attack another place, brothers, it took a long time. Take this off. It would take her 5 months, brothers, to prepare an army. It's no joke. A lot of money we were used to go and do those things. War costs a lot. So what happened is, brothers, and he said, Mom, unless the next letter that you sent me, if it's pacified news, I will say it. But if it's the same news that you're giving me, I will come and I will fight. And he stay and he's writing to the mom. Since writing, this is page 232. Since writing the foregoing, dear mother, I have heard the most important intelligence from the seat of war in Ethiopia. And was it more that the prince Remeses is even now on his return to Memphis? So Moses is on his way back to Egypt as a conqueror. So Moses won that fight. Remember, we told you about that fight, right? Remember King Ocoris, how dumb he was? We're going to that guy was so sure. That's what the Mosai did. The Mosai made him so he was so sure that he's going to win. the Mosai mocked this dude. That's what I'm laughing at, those people saying they're going to fight. Is my nose bleeding again? Nope, it's not. Yesterday I was bleeding like crazy. The Mosai mocked that dude. You see what that guy did. The dispatch brought by the courier state that 4 weeks ago the army of Egypt engaged Ocoris. Ocoris is the king of Ethiopia at that time. Beyond the gates of Thebes, and after a severe battle in which the chariots and horses were engaged, he was forced to retreat, that he gained a new position and fortify himself, but was dislodged from it and finally rotted out in the open plain. He himself is being taken prisoner. So Ocoris, the king of Ethiopia, got engaged into, remember when he was in the city, what he did, brother? This guy, we always told the people, listen, whenever you're going to fight somebody, never, ever insult their gods. When those people put hands on us, brothers, they insult our Father. And the Most High don't take insult too lightly. Those people have a saying, when they insult the Most High, they say, hey, no offense, man. I meant that not to hurt you. And they will expect your answer to say, hey, none taken, man. That's cool. Not the Most High, sir. You offended the Most High, a lot taken. When you come to the Most High, you say you offended them by putting your hand upon it. You say, man, no offense, man. And the Most High look at you and say, a lot taken. There'll be consequences, man. Yeah. You put your hands on my children. Those are my people. So Ochorus went in there, brothers. He offended those people, God. The people were already cowering, running. Those were civilians. He that let's show you how magnificent it was. He got defeated by the priests, brothers, by the priests and the people of the city. He already took over the city. He won. He went in there and insulted them. And what's this name again? Since Sun Tzu said, brothers, never insult your enemy when you want a battle. When you want an enemy battle, you shake the enemy head if he's still alive. If you corner the enemy, brothers, he drop his weapon and run, you don't pursue him. You give him a way so he can escape. You never make fun of your enemy when you're in a battle with him. Don't insult the enemy. Because if you do this, you might... Give me a second. All right, thank you. So he took over, brethren, the city, and then guess what he did? He brought a breed of bull, like a aggressive bull, like he bred for fight. And he brought that bull, and then he put that bull inside of the Egyptian temple, having that bull destroy all the idols and stuff like that. And then what the bull did again, he took the Egyptians' god, brothers. The bull that they worship, he had his bull killing the bull. And then the people had enough. And when the priest saw that, man, the priests yelled, and then they took their knife with knives. All the priests, man, they just stormed the place, man. They kicked. He killed a bunch of them. They didn't care. They died for their gods. The whole city, people with pots and pans, run after the army when they heard what Oculus did. They beat the crap out of him. And then he retreat from the city, and then he hides somewhere. He already lost half of his army because of this stupid act. After a severe battle in which chariots and stuff, new position, dislodged from it. He was dislodged from the stuff he played himself and things like that. Now, he himself being taken prisoner with most of his chief captains, while a great spoil and treasures kept equipage, elephants, camels, and horses, besides captive innumerable, enriched the victors. So this is the spoil. This is the spoil that Moses took. Okay, he took the spoil, what? Camp equipage, camp equipment, elephants, camels, horses, and besides innumerable captives. It amazed me why this king did this. I know it's the Most High, but how dumb was this dude? The Most High made him did this. This news has gladdened the heart of the queen Amensis, so the queen is very happy. And relieve her mind from the great anxiety that was oppressed ever since the departure of Remeses, lest he should lose his life and the campaign as a father had done before him. But without a wound, he returned triumphant, leading his enemies captive at the wheels of the war chariots. The city is excited with joy, and all the temples are sending incense and bleeding sacrifices together with libations and oblations, bear testimony the universal gratitude of the nation at the defeated of the hereditary foe of the kingdom. So now Moses is coming, triumphant. Moses is coming, in his chariot with everybody and stuff. Moses is like, hey, what's up? What's going on? He came into the chariot, and he brought with him all the spoils. Again, brothers, when we say the spoil in war, it's a rule of war. If you beat this guy, everything that this person has, including this person itself, belong to you. Oh, man. That's why a lot of people now don't understand this. When the quote unquote the eagle went over there in the Middle West, so to speak, it kind of beat and defeat this fellow and took his oil, and the people was like, "Oh, why you do this like that?" The rule of war. That was their motive in the first place. So Moses is coming back with all those breaches and stuff. Now the whole city, brothers, the news already reached the whole city. Now the whole city, brothers, is the city's shaking like, whoa, they found it, brothers. They've been fighting them all the time, but this time they actually arresting, so to speak, they captivated the king of Ocaris. So they took Ocaris. They're like, finally. We've been battling those people ever since day one. The Ethiopian and the Egyptians, they've been fighting for a while. So they took them, and then now they are bringing everybody innumerable. Because what happened, brothers, in the battle, they were fighting. Again, if you're fighting your enemy, this is a rule of war. If the enemy drops his weapon, he raises his hand, you cannot kill him. That's murder. Weird, brothers. That's murder. That's actually a war crime. That's come on, I have military people here. You have to take this person, if you wish. This person is called a POW, a prisoner of war. Correct me if I'm wrong, my military people out there. If this person, you're fighting that person, that person had a gun, it dislodge the gun, drop it, get on their knee, and put their hand behind their back, or raise their hand. If you shoot this man, this is a crime according to the war. This is not good. This enemy submit unto you. If you do this to this guy, you're a bully. But not now, brothers. Not now. Okay, now Saddam, Hussein and stuff. He didn't have no weapon of mass destruction. He raised his hand. He said, "I have nothing." What? They bring him. The wrap a rope around his neck, and then been in and used for a while now. Those people will drop a bomb in an entire city and kill every man, woman, and child. They don't care. They don't practice this rule anymore. But back then, if you were fighting your enemy and then the enemy sees he's losing, he yield unto you. That means he said, he yield, spare my life and my men. Okay? The Most High have a law and a book for the Israelites to follow. And Joshua followed this law. The Most High said, if you're going to take over a city, you first made it known to the people that you're going to attack them. You gave them a chance to surrender. If the people surrender unto you, you cannot kill them. If they surrender the city, the land unto you, say, "Hey man, I don't want to fight you. Take this land, take everything you want, just give me life." You have to let this person go because he submit. Yeah, he don't want to fight. Let it go. But if you come to the city, you cry, you say, "We are going to attack you and stuff, leave this city," and they are so proud. They are so sure they're going to win this fight because, their cities have very long, tall wall. They look at you like you look like a little ants. They're like, how the hell this guy going to break down into the wall and break our city? If they be too proud, then they say, "Oh, to hell with it." They fight, kill all of them. That is why, brothers, when Joshua Moses and stuff was about to attack this city where the Jericho, I believe, and then Rahab, I like to call her Rahab, was there, and the spies came in. She made a covenant with them. She said, "I don't want anything to do with you people. I heard what your God did. I bow down unto that. I respect that. I will never insult you. Please spare me. I'm going to help you, and I'm going to give you some quid pro quo. I scratch your back, and you scratch my back." And she did. The Most High did not utterly destroy her and her house. Everybody and her and her whole household, her father, her brother, sister, all her beasts. She didn't have that much though. She was a poor woman, quote unquote, and then keeper woman. She was a bakery owner. Oh boy, I don't want to offend the bakery owner, but that's what she was. And then later on, you'll find out she was not like those Canaanites. She was something else. So they let her go. That's the rule of war. That's what it says. Now, there is a preparation. We know in the previous lesson, previous studies, brothers, before those people going to war, they do all kind of things. They make preparation to their God, and then they go to war. Now, when they are back, they're gonna do a lot of things too to do stuff because quote unquote their gods. That's what they thought, but it was the Most High give them victory. The Most High did this for Moses. You're gonna see this, when you start studying furthermore. So now we take a little cut, things like that. We are in the Isle of Water. 2 weeks have elapsed since I laid down my pen, dearest mother. In the interval, I have been too much occupied to resume it. But so now, with matters of the deepest interest to communicate, Remeses has returned. So Moses is back in the city. 2 days ago, he entered Memphis in a warlike triumph. Woo! On hearing of his approach, I hastened to meet him. 3 days journey up the Nile. So Sesostris left 3 days. It's like a 3 days ride to get there. When we met, he embraced me as a brother with expression of joy. But the first question he put to me was, the queen, my mother, Sesostris, is she well? Well and happy at your victories, I answer, and your warrior mother, also the queen, Epithia, how fair she was. She went last year, I heard of her, in good health, save her the way she wishes to see me. When Sesostris left the island and go meet Moses 3 days before he get there, he saw Moses, they shake hand, they hug each other. And then the first thing that come out of his, he didn't say, yo, what's going on? What's going on, boy? He said the first thing, he said, the queen, my mother, how is she? And so she's all right, she's good. She will fully recover and stuff like that. And then Moses said, how about your mother, the queen, Epithia of Phoenicia? Is she all right? And he said, yeah, my mom is all right. It's good, man. Yo, Moses, when I heard you kicking a lot of asses and taking a lot of names in here, she was saying, hey, look, man, look for yourself. Yeah, so Sesostris, I appreciate that. He said, Mom, this man is so virtuous. He's very caring. He didn't even ask me about himself. Oh, I did great. He asked me about the care of his mother and my mother. How loving is this from this man? His heart is so supremely, so virtuous. So I found Remeses descending the river in 100 hall galleys or boats, like huge boats, to which I was conveyed by a barge, which he sent for me and recognized me. It was decorated with the insignia of all the division of his army. Behind it came 2 galleys containing the prisoner of Frank who were bound and chains upon the deck. The Ethiopian's king was in the galley with Remeses, who courteously let him go free in the cabin where he was served by his conqueror's own cupbearer. Damn. Brothers, you won't see this again, brothers, all right? Further in the rear come the fleet, their party-colored green, orange, and blue, and scarlet sail, and the bronze gilded head, hawks, eagle, presenting a grand, brilliant spectacle. Now, Sesostris, brothers, he met with Remeses. Moses was say, all right, Sesostris, my dog, watch the thing. Those are all the spoil. Let's bring this baby to Egypt. So they loaded everything into boats because it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. And the Bible, quote unquote, and the Bible now in Africa now, Ethiopia and Egypt are like neighbor. They're right next to each other. But now when Moses kicking their asses back then, he had to get in a boat to get to Egypt. So they loaded everybody in the boat and stuff, and then they are coming to the Nile and stuff like that. So, in the boat that Moses were, he had the king Okoris, the Ethiopian king was in there. Moses let him run free, unarmed. He was in a chamber. Moses even let him keep his own cupbearer, his own butler, so to speak. He had his own butler here. Moses give him all the thing, food and stuff. Moses treat him as a king. He let him here and the stuff in the boat. Sesashi said, Moses, is that how you people? Is that how you people treat your prisoner? Moses said, don't be too kind. This is how I treat them. But the other guys, the other Egyptians, they don't do this. Because Moses learned a lot of things, okay? Yeah, he learned a lot of things. So Moses said, that's how I treat them. But don't be too the Egyptian soldiers, they don't do too well. So he said, where is he? He said, he's down there in one of the cabin. But behind this boat, brothers, it's amazing. Behind this boat, there's multiple other boats coming. And one of the boat, they got all the women and children. The other boat, they got all the soldiers. Another boat got all the animals. Another boat have all the goals and stuff and camp stuff like that. And then they are coming. So Sesashi told Moses, this Negro is here. Yeah, the king Okoris is here. Said, can I see him? He said, of course. And he said, before that, let me go to see King Okoris if he wish to see you. And then he sent a messenger, he sent somebody down there and asked Okoris, he said, Okoris, the prince of Tyre, his associates wish to see you. Will you receive him? That guy was a prisoner. He was a prisoner. Moses, Remeses, he taught him, he treated him like a friend. Okay? So Remeses sent Sesostris. Okori said, I will see him. So Sesostris get down there, and this is what he saw. Let me get this. All right. Descending a flight of steps, we advance. So this is him going to see what's going on there. Descending a flight of steps, we advance along a second deck and then passing the door leading to the states of cabin. We descend anyway. So okay, we descend again and come to a range of apartments occupied by the governor of the warriors, the chief pilot. Those are the cabins, the room. He's describing the cabins and the rooms. And then now, okay, this latter had vacated his room to the warrior captive. Now, because they don't even put this guy in jail, he has the admiral of the boat, the best room. The admiral leave him the room, according to Remeses' order. He left him the room, so he's staying in the room, brothers. It's not even a prison. Upon entering, reclining on the couch, a bed of leopard skin, luxury things, brothers. You know how much anybody that have leopard skin back then, you are rich. This king lying to a leopard skin couch, spread in the moonlight, which shone broadly, is upon the floor through the columns that support the deck. I beheld a young man, not more than my own age. So Ocarus was a young man. He was like somewhere around Sesostris is 28 years old. He said, this king is a young, that's now I understand how foolish he was. He's a young man. He's probably 20, he's no more than 30 years old. He's a young guy. He's probably 25 to 30 because Sesostris is 28 years old. He said he's no more than my age. He saw a young dude there. And then you see how that dude, the description of this dude is like, yo, what the hell? His features were remarkable. His nose was slightly aquiline or aqualine or stuff like that. Define that word aqualine or aquiline. Aquiline. His forehead high and commanding. His brows arc and delicate as a woman. Define that word brow. Brow means face, but people. Brow, B-R-O-W. Brow and aquiline. His brows arc and delicate as a woman's, beneath which were the blackest and largest eyes I ever held, and which seems to emit a burning splendor. His finely formed mouth was almost voluptuous in his fullness and expression. So he have full lips, some African dude. Yet I could perceive a slight nervous contraction of the underlip, as if he were struggling between shame and haughty indifference. So broad face, thank you. Okay, thick eyebrows. He looked like us. But he was what he was doing when Sesostris came in, when you come seeing a king, the king gonna give you impression, hey, I'm still the king here. I'm a prisoner, but I'm the king. But come on, man. He was a little bit shamed, like, yo, I lost and stuff like that. But he looked like yo, what's going on and stuff. And so his chin was without beard, so he was a beardless dude. His black locks were braided and upon up by fillet of gold studded with jewelry, so he had dreadlocks. Now you start getting the images of how this dude looked like. He looked like one of those young thug fellow. He was a young thug, like Negro looking dude with dreads and feminine face and beardless dude with a bunch of gold in a bunch of garbage in his hair. His helmet, which was of beaten gold, lay by his side, dented with many of a stroke of a sword or battle axes. And I saw that a wound upon his left temple corresponded to one of these indentations. His hands were very small and knotted brown color, as was his complexion. So he was a black man. A pretty boy looking. Now I understand why this dude. Another Ishbosheth, brethren. If you catch my drift, another Ishbosheth sitting there. Now I understand how he lost. His hands were very small and a knotted brown color, so he was like a brown dude, like my skin color and stuff. But has his complexion. He was a black man. He was a black dude. And covered with massive ring. So this dude there with a bunch of rings, and dreads, like in air face, but he's the king though. He's just sit there. Another Ishbosheth. A collar rich with emerald encircled his neck, from which was suspended an amulet of agate, and a little silver box containing a royal charm. He was dressed in a gaudy but rich robe of needlework, which was open in front of the display corselet or bracelet and fine steel inlaid with gold. This is like those rap. He's like one of those brand new rappers. Those very effeminate rappers that, like, they're so tough. They talk so tough in the music, and then when they went to a real battle, they lost. That's the guy that they are describing now. Yeah, like Xerxes. Thank you. Like Xerxes had a bunch of gold and like that's women stuff, man. This is women want that much gold and makeup, so this dude is sitting here like and stuff. His small feet were bare, save a light sandal of gilded gazelle leather. There you go. There you go. Brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, tell me who like gazelle, like who like to wear stuff made out of gazelle, who like to have a freaking gazelle inside of their house, feeding it through their hand, who like to have running around with gazelle stuff, playing with gazelle and stuff. Tell me who, because we read the book of the throne of David, who, brothers and sisters, who does this? A little small feet, and then little sandals, little small sandals with gazelles. Thank you, Sister Moana. Princesses like to wear gazelle, just but they really did this guy wrong here, man. I don't know who told him to wear. Brothers, what kind of dude going to war wearing high heels? What the hell were you thinking? I understand why he lost, brothers. He wore women's sandals with gazelle and ring, whatever. So Such is gonna tell you exactly how he thought of this dude, and this guy is a warrior. Now you understand. I understand now why he lost. His small feet were bare, save a light sandal of gilded gazelle leather. Altogether, he was as elegant and fine-looking a barbaric prince as one would care to behold. Dear mother, and not all the monsters in aspect I had pictured him. So this dude, when you heard talking about this dude, you thought that guy is tough. You thought that guy is a monster. You thought when you see this guy will cower. That's why, brothers, when they heard this dude was coming, the whole city submit until they see how he looks, and then they went over and then they grab him, they start beating the spirit out of him. They start beating the royalty out of him. When they see this dude, they're like, what is this? You were afraid of freaking tiger or lion, and the next thing you know, somebody bought a kitty cat. It's like, hey, meow, meow, meow. Oh, what the hell? Pull up a baseball bat, home running this freaking cat, man. So send that cat to the, what the hell? That's how they saw, brothers. This guy, they were hoping and seeing like a barbaric dude, and all this dude sitting in there with all his ring and keep showing his hair with his sandals and stuff. They're like, okay, what? Oh man, come. Like, yo, what is this? This is crazy. Yet I am well convinced that in that splendor form lies powers of endurance, which make him respected by the barbarians he commands, and that within those fierce eyes blaze a soul of fiery as any barbaric prince require, while the firm expression of his mouth at the time betray a resolve of iron will switch your object, will antagonize him and stuff. So when they look at this dude, he brothers, you know when some soft dude try to act tough, he saw the prince, he tried to act like, yo, they got me, but so what, Negro? Yeah, I'm tough. He was acting like, I have a gun on me. He's acting, he's tough. He half rose gracefully from his recumbent attitude and said with indolent yet not undignified hair and good Coptic as he spoken in the Thebaid. Welcome, Prince Tyree. I am sorry I cannot extend it to you the hospitality you merit. You see, my kingdom is somewhat limited. As for you, O Prince of Egypt, who have a right to command, I need not to ask you to be seated or recline. Then turning to me again, I have heard of Tyre. You are a nation of merchants who cover the great sea with caravans of galleys and planted your sandals in all lands. But you have not yet heard of Ethiopia beneath them. It's just like those. This is the same characteristic as those guys, those soft-core, high-talk rappers. When he saw Sesostris and Remeses get inside the cabin where he was staying, he was reclining with his cupbearer, pouring wine and stuff, drinking. When he saw them, and then he sit a little bit straight, he half rose. He says, "Welcome, Prince of Tyre. I am sorry." He say, "Welcome, Prince of Tyre. I'm sorry I cannot extend some of my hospitality to you. Sorry I cannot give you a princely reception." He say, "As you see, I politely say, as you see, I am a prisoner." He say, "As you see, my kingdom is limited." And then he look at Moses. That dude, he's just like, wow. He look at Moses, say, "As for you," this dude, like, he look at Moses, say, "Well, as for you, Prince of Egypt, I'm not gonna ask you to be seated here and stuff." Technically, tell Moses, "As for you, Moses, get the hell out of here. Leave us alone." But he said it in a politely coward. It's like, oh man, this dude is so weird. He said it in a way like, "I would have kicked your ass if I had feet to kick. Now get out of here before I go get some feet." Some weird stuff like that. And Moses look at him, and then Moses leave him alone with the prince. And he looked at the prince and said, "I heard about Tyre, aka, Tyre is like in Phoenicia. I heard about Tyre. I heard you guys are a bunch of merchants with your little sandals. I heard you spread your merchandise all over the world. But your sandals haven't put feet in Ethiopia yet." Is Remeses gone? Yeah, he's gone. "Oh God, Prince, help me, man. This Negro gonna kill me, man. I don't know what to do. I was acting all tough and stuff like that." This guy here, when you look at this, you're like, yo, man, what the? He talking so proudly as if he had a way to defend himself from Sesostris. "Oh yeah, your little sandals and stuff. You haven't put them in Ethiopia yet. You don't know about us Ethiopian Negroes and stuff. What's up with you?" And Sesostris look at this like, "Yeah, whatever, man." He said, "Well, our commerce embraces even your own countries." Oh, but not only this guy, not only he's just all of it, he's also dumb. He's super dumb. He's like, to him, if he does commerce with you, if a country does commerce with another country, that means you submit to that country. That's how they thought it mean. And Sesostris correcting him with an academically correction. "Our commerce embraces even your own country's productions, O king." I answer. Sesostris just tell him like, you scum of a jack. You jack wagon. The commerce, the business, the economy of my people dwarf even your own country's production, O king. I answer, "I have seen in the mouth of Tyre connection." So he just tell him like, "I see like what your country production, what they produce and all that and stuff and things like that and all that stuff. So that is the name of Tyre. It is not the city of purple cloth," he said interrogatively. So he start questioning. He said, "Well, Tyre, isn't Tyre the, you met another king? Now you're talking about like purple cloth? You're talking about selling stuff, merch?" This dude, man. Anyway, man, let's run this dude over so we can finish with this thing, man. He said, Tyree, your land, it mean purple cloth, right? And he pop his collar. Well, Ethiopia mean the land of warriors. What do you think of that? You didn't know this. So Tyree mean purple cloth, land of purple cloth. But Ethiopia mean land of warriors. So what do you think of that? This is page 236, brothers. She said, I could not help smiling at his vanity. Remeses did not say anything. The king then add pleasantly, I have. I'm sorry, brother. It's just like this dude. He made a threat. He made a threat to Cesar. She said, so your land over there, Tyree, it mean like purple cloth, right? Is that what that mean? But well, Ethiopia mean land of warriors. He made a threat like, yo, we tough. And then the guy's like, yeah, this guy's in vain. And after he made his threat, he said, I have no quarrel with thee, O Tyree. Receive this ring, that is, if the great Remeses do not regard it as I possesses, as well as myself is spoiled. Receive it and a token that we are at peace. Right after this guy make a threat, right after he show like, oh, I'm a warrior, and then he quickly submit. He quickly said, I have no beef with you, Negro. Just to show you, out of all those rings that I have in my finger, and let me give you one. He took the ring of his finger, and he called Sisosh. He said, oh, and he looked at Moses like, oh, well, if the Prince Moses or if the Prince Remeses will allow me to give it to you, because like that's everything that I own, he all my spoils, he owned it, including myself and stuff. And then Remeses, acknowledges like, yo, you can give it to him. So he put the ring and the Lord of Tyre, Sesostris, thumb, and then he sit down. You got to be freaking kidding me. The more I read, I'm like, I understand why this guy lost. How stupid is this man? He said, may this ring symbolize our peace. We are at peace. This is so stupid. You, out of your own freaking mouth, you tell the king, yo, I heard about your country. Your country, or with the sandals, never set feet in Ethiopia. We are warriors and stuff like that. And all of a sudden you tell them, I have no beef with you, friend. He is a symbol for our peace. Why? You don't even know the two countries never. It's just like, why, man? I have no beef with you. Accept this ring. And they put the ring in there and then look at it. So, and after a brief interview, I left his presence. And they left. They have to leave this dude because he's just like, brothers, you don't want to be around those guys. They start to, not only they are influencing you, and they start to make you really mad. You start questioning everything now. Why is he acting like this? And I don't like being confused, brothers. And they just left him. You don't want to be around people that's so confusing to figure it out. This guy make a threat. He was about to fight. Then he calmed down. He said something about you, and then he complimented you. Yo, man, your shirt, man. Look at your shirt. Look at this guy's shirt. This is the best shirt I ever had. This is the best shirt I ever seen. Look at that guy's feet. Look at the feet. The shoes, man. This must be an expensive shoes. They look at this dude, they're like, okay, all right, let's go. So So Sessions was about to take the ring off. So Moses tell him, like, just keep the ring, man. Forget this. Let's go. Forget this guy, man. Let's just go, man. And then they left him and, acting all tough and stuff. Remeses insist upon my returning this ring, which in truth the Ethiopian king, being a captive, had no right to dispose of. That's the truth. He shouldn't give anything because you don't even belong to yourself. He shouldn't do this without Moses' permission, but he did it with something. Just to like show, hey, I can do this and that and this. Remeses says that he displays the most daring courage and marvelous generalship in battle, and that though young and apparently effeminate, you got to be kidding me. And apparently effeminate, he inherits all the fierce barbaric spirit of his ancestor Sabako the First and of his uncle Bokiris the Great, and third of the name. Now, brothers, once you start having the first king, the second king, the third king, whatever coming forth is garbage. Apparently effeminate, no hish, man. You see this dude, you wear everything that the women should wear. Why? Is it kind of like a culture? What is this? You're supposed to be that fierce warrior, but what is that? And I was so disappointed when I see this. I was waiting I heard this guy's a barbaric king and stuff. I was hoping to see some Mark Henry looking mofo, some giant, tall, black ass Negro sit there with bearded and stuff. That guy had no beard. He had hair like a woman. He was seeing those women and stuff. Whatever, man. At least we arrive at the island of Woda. Remeses hastened to embrace his mother and to tender to her and stuff like that. They get to the island. Brothers Moses run and then get his mother a hug and kiss and all that. They start talking and things like that and stuff. And then they talk and about all of those things. And they have dinner and then they took shower and stuff. In the morning, there will go the procession. They will display all those things that they capture from Ethiopia. And you'd see how dumb that guy was. When all was arranged, this is page 237. The portal. So they went to the temple, brothers. They went in and take their gods first. Oh, sorry. Something just flashes. Maybe I press a button. Sorry. All right. So anyway. So they went in there and taking all the gods and stuff, and they start giving libation and giving thanksgiving. Okay, they were doing a thanksgiving, thank the God for the victory. Again, yet the Most High give them the victory. You'll understand why the Most High did this in that later chapter. Now, they're thinking the bull that they have. They are thinking the statues and stuff like that. Whatever. Prince Remeses, attended by the governor of the city and the 21 rulers of the departments thereof, and by all dignitaries of whatever office is their sumptuous robe and badges and ranks, has already departed from the city to meet the army, which headed by its generals was in full motion. They came on in columns of battalions as if marching to the enemy's country, and with all the pomp of war, their battle banners waving and the bands of music sounding. So now all the 21 generals of the city, everybody, they form a battle formation. They went to march in the city, displaying. They were making a parade plus a displays of strength, the same way that they did in the other lessons. So everybody getting in line. They are about to march to the city and show the people what they have captured. Instead of accompanying Remeses, I remained by her request near the queen. By her request near the queen. All right. The towers of the pylons, the roofs of the temple, the colonnades of places, terrace, house stuff, every event and branches were crowded thickly with spectators. So the street was loaded with people, brothers. The streets was loaded, people all over, left and right. The entire city, that's a 4th of July parade right there. A 4th of July parade. The street was thick with people. All over the Egypt coming to see the great army. So they had a Thanksgiving 4th of July parade. At length, they have musics and stuff like that. At length, the voice of trumpets, faint and far, broke the silence of expectation. So they are marching to the city and stuff like that. Now they are marching. This is their appearances. This is page 238. Again, brothers, I'm jumping from pages because there's so many things in here. Let me see. Give me a second. All right, we got like 3 more pages. We're done. Was held by the vast assemblage of spectators with acclamations. Yeah, victory! Hey, Moses, Remeses, good job. Everybody was there, you know, a lot of people and stuff like this. Then came 170 priests abreast, representing the male deity of Memphis, each attire like image of his god, and imposing and wonderful spectator as it always was, not without his arc head, nor tough, his horn and globe. So, brothers, when they were marching, the parade were marching, displaying the glory. You got the priests, 170 priests. Each priest served one god. Each god have a symbol. Each of the symbol is displayed in one of those priests. All those priests were wearing their symbols and they were walking to the city. And people are clapping, music are playing, you know, children are running, they're throwing flour, and those little Arabian belly dancers were all over dancing, and those guys are marching to the city. Following these were 1,000 priests, 100 in line, chanting with mighty voice the songs of victory to the gods. Again, they had 1,000 priests, each line, I think 100 line, is that what that is? No, 10 lines, 100 each. So they were singing, giving praises to their gods, not to the Most High, to their gods. All right. Now, bust out afresh the cling of martial band. So, at the head of the parade, brothers, were the priests, the generals, the big dogs. And after the priests, there come another line. Now burst out afresh the cling of martial bands, and the Lord in his state, royal by 3 black steed, which is horses, appeared the prince of Egypt, standing erect upon the floors of his car. He was in full armor, and so splendid was his appearance, so majestic his aspect, that he was held with a thunder of voices as conqueror, leaving the golden hued rein loosely attached to the hilt his sword. His step horses freely to prince and covered, yet held them obedient to the highest gesture of his hand. So after the priests, you know, to give the God's praises first. Then the second war is Remeses, the prince of Egypt, with his full armor, 3 black horses pulling his chariot. His sword is at his hand. Moses is entering like, hey, you know, what's up? This is Remeses and this H right here, man. What's up with you? Victorious, and everybody, Moses. Well, Remeses. They are chanting his name. Remeses, Remeses, Remeses. Sorry, Remeses. I can't hear you, Negroes, all right? And then he was marching to the place. On each side of their head walked 3 footmen. They got bodyguards walking around with spears and stuff, and all the girls are screaming, Remeses, Remeses, and then and stuff like that. The whole bull, brothers, the whole bull. Behind the chariot was a guard of honor, consisting of brave soldiers. So behind Remeses, aka Moses, you had the guard of honor, soldiers out of every company in the army. All those brave soldiers that fought violently, they put them behind Remeses and stuff as an honor. But close to it, close to it, his waist like together with a massive chain of gold, which was attached to the axle of the chariot, walked the captive king of Ethiopia. His step was proud and defiant, and a constant smile of contempt curled his lips as he saw the eyes of the spectators bent upon him, and heard the shouts of hostile joy, and behold him. Remeses was coming with the soldiers behind him, and guess who you saw? You saw Okoris, the king of Ethiopia, with the golden chain. He was chained to the chariot where Remeses was conducting the chariot, and they were pulling his ass and stuff. And he was walking proudly, and he was smiling and stuff. And everybody was like, boo, boo, this guy got a women portal and no third leg, boo. And then he was like smiling and stuff like that. They're like, boo, yeah, who knows? You might have bread baking in that oven, boo. They were making fun of him, and he was walking there proudly, like he was smiling, like, yo, what's up? And then they were like, yeah, boo, look at this guy, yeah, you scumbag, boo, look at this guy. We were asking about to send us king, they sent us a queen, boo, and you being dragged behind a car, boo, are you a drag queen? Yeah, right. So brothers, they brothers, man, they're really hiding for this guy. Hey, oh, look at this drag, just like this queen they are dragging behind this car. And he was like walking around and stuff, being proud and like, yeah, what's up with y'all Negroes, man? Oh, they had it in for this guy, man. He moved the king in heart, though bound in hand. Over his shoulder hung a lion skin of royal mantle, but his feet were bare. Behind him came a solid front of chariots, which line behind line rolled into the square until 3,000 war cars as entered and moved with all the vein of vast warlike possession towards the great pylon, before which in her chariot stood the queen of Egypt. For as soon as the head of the column came in sight, she had risen to her feet to receive a returning army. Now, even this dude was a prisoner. They let him wear his royal. This is like an insult. If I was a king, I was taken as a prisoner. Treat me as a prisoner. Give me prisoner clothes. Chain me with the other prisoner. They dress this guy as a king and they chain him in the chariot and drag his ass in the street. He's like a king. They humiliate this guy. He never seen it as a humiliation. He was like proudly walking. Wow, I'm still king. I got my leopard skin and stuff. I'm working and stuff. And they insult this guy. He doesn't even know that. They're insulting him. They give him all the kingly robe and stuff. It's for like, hey, look at the king. He's our prisoner. He doesn't see that. Behind him, they had over 3,000 brothers. War cars as enter and move. All kind of like spoil. This dude was so dumb. 3,000 war cars that they took for you, And then they were passing, and then the queen, as soon as the queen see the people, the army, the queen stand up and then stop saluting them and stuff like that. When Remeses come before her, he turned his horse towards, so Moses was in the front, and then he turned his chariot to go by the queen, and then he turned around. Remain at her side. Past them march first the foot soldiers. No, you got the foot soldiers coming. Both of the brothers, both of the side, they're walking in the middle of the street, and both of the side you got people, cheering and stuff. The queen is salute, like a Thanksgiving crap stuff they were doing back then. Nothing is new under the sun, it. To the sounds of drums, music, and the tramp of 10,000 sandals. People were marching and boom, 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 boom. The wheel into the arena of the temples, elevating the war hawk symbols, each man laden with his spoil. Now, each man, brothers, each soldiers, when you beat another guy, so you have to go ahead and take the spoil. Some guy will take gold. Some guy will take like their guards made out of gold. They just grab their guards and say, "I'm taking this issue with me." And every soldier's displaying this is what they got. Some guy got swords. Some guy got bows. Some guy got lances and scythes. The scythe. When I say scythe or scythes, that's the weapon of the Grim Reaper that you always see the Grim Reaper with. So they are displaying those things, showing and stuff like this. As they passed, the priests were censers, waved incense towards them, and others sprinkle water sacred. So the priests were there chanting, throwing, bless them with water and stuff like all beautiful and all that crap. And they were singing and stuff like that. The whole sky was filling with the song. Everybody was chanting victory and stuff like that. And that scumbag Oculus was walking around and smiling like, yo, I'm still king. Whatever, man. When half of the army had defiled, which defile in that sense meant, passing through, there came a possession of Ethiopian cars, wagons. So this is what they took from this dude. This is how dumb that guy was. When half the army had defiled, there came a possession of Ethiopian cars and wagons drawn by captured oxen. Listen, brothers, what the hell that guy was thinking? Captured oxen and laden with trophies. Upon one was 5 score of shields, a third bristled with spears, a fourth was weighed down by cuirasses and swords. So his entire army was there. After many hundred of these have passed, for the whole Ethiopian army was destroyed. Who did this? Who, brothers, who go ahead and invade a country and brought his entire army with him? He was so sure. This guy was so sure he was going to win. He brought the whole army with him. And he got defeated by a bunch of priests, a bunch of backwood, hillbilly hicks, destroyed half of his army, and then Remeses came back and destroyed the rest. Why would you do this? Why would you bring all of the stuff with you? In the possession captured comes chariots, heavy with chests containing gold. This guy brought gold with him. Containing gold and silver and bronze vessel and other glaring with ivory tusk and other full of blacks of ebony. He brought all the wealth of his country. He brought his entire country and his entire army with him to invade another country, brothers and sisters. How dumb was this dude? Not only that, brothers, 5 warrior elephants with the caslet and keepers, and a troop of camels laden with treasures and mounted by the wild-looking guides precede a body of horses escorted with purple pavilion and all that. Next came a painted car containing his wives. That guy was super dumb. This dude even brought his wives. It could be some dude dressing like women. Where's my whistle? It could be other dude dressed like women. But this dude brought his wives. They put this. It's just this amazes me. Why would this dude do this? He came in and invaded. He was so sure he was going to take the country. He brought his wife, the camels, and all. He literally brought everything. Oh man. Brothers, forgive me, man. I think I forgot. I lost where I was. Give me a moment so I can find where I was. Okay. I think letter 17. There we go. Okay, letter 17. Wait, no, letter 18. What's it, 18 or 19? 200. Oh boy. Give me a second, man. It's just okay. All right. I got it. Next came a painted car containing his wives, all of whom were closely veiled and followed by a train of royal servants and slaves. This dude he bought his entire kingdom. He bought his royal servants and even his own slaves. He brought everybody with him. Bringing up the rear of the immense possession was another large body of horses at the head of a long column, captive 12,000 in number. The disarmed and chained soldiers of the defeated monarch. Oh boy, it's just all right. It's get a little heavy now. They have the soldiers. Now the Egyptians weren't too kind to their soldiers. They tied them up in a horrible way, brothers. They were dragging them behind the cars. They were mistreating them. They tied them up real tight that their hands are bleeding. They tied their feet so hard they were bleeding. That was pretty grim to watch. These captives, it's pretty grim. And these captives march in parties of from 1 to 100 each line by the wrist to a long connecting chain. Nothing new under the sun. Passing along the line or the chain 2 by 2. The hands and with shackled feet were led by the captors, so the Egyptians were pulling them, mistreating them. Many of them were confined to long iron bar by neck collars, so they were choking them with iron neck, just like you saw the slaves and stuff. By neck collars 8 and 10 abreast, each compelled to step together. They were tying them so close they have to step together in harmony. If one of them mess up, the whole crew going to fail and fall, and then they want to beat them to get back up at the rise at the same moment. Or if the subject to dislocated his neck, that means their neck will break. If you dislocated your neck, the way they tie their neck, if something happened, your neck will be dislocated and you will die. Several of those most unimaginable were tied with their hands high above their heads. They will tie their neck with like a rope, a rope, and then the rope is attached to a stick, and the stick is attached to their hands. So they will tie their hand really high, so they are choking when they are walking. And they were walking, and they got a bar that go. They tie their hands into like a bar, and then they raise the bar really high, and then they were choking them, and they were marching. Their hand high above the head in the most painful position, while other wretched were so cruelly bound that their arms met bind in the most unnatural manner. There was a long chain of Nubian and Southern Arabian soldiers so bound who writhed in agony, and they were forced onward too much. So they were crying, they were yelling, and crying. After this came hundreds of women and children, the latter naked and led by their hands, or carried by the mothers in baskets, slung behind them by the bed carried across the forehead. Finally, when these had passed, the queen who humanely ordered those two also unnaturally bound to be relieved, the rear division, the army was trimming and stuff like that, and beating the trumpet. So after that, and then they saw a group of women and their children. They were all naked, and then their mothers were carrying them. This is what happened when you go facing a foe. You don't have the power to beat that guy. And then when the queen saw that, she quickly said, no, 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 don't do this, don't do this. Untie them. Give the women clothes. Don't treat them like that. Because once the queen saw that, brothers, it reminded her of our people. When the queen saw the treatment, it reminded him of the Hebrews and Remeses. She quickly ordered them to untie them, and they untied those guys, and then they marched them properly. They give the women clothes, and then the queen is a very humble queen. She did not accept the way they were treating those people. She had them unbound and have them proceed. If this vast army of this vast army of nearly 100,000 men, they captured whatever, nearly 100,000 men, including chariots, horsemen, and foot soldiers, had marched past before the queen. Excuse me. Receiving her thanks and smiling, the flowers and all that stuff. The high priest was there. And then at length, brothers, this thing is almost over. At this juncture, the high priest of On, a man of venerable aspect, amid the profound silence, advanced before them and thus addresses Prince Remeses. So this priest looked to Remeses and said, "Mighty!" In the midst of the whole people, everybody's silent now. "Mighty and excellent prince and lord of worlds, son of the queen, and upholder of the kingdom of the earth, may the gods bless thee and grant thee honor and prosperity. Thou hast led the armies of Meres to battle and conquer it." So he told Moses, aka Remeses, aka Moses, that he gave the army victory. He marched the army. He gave them victory. So they give Moses credit here. "Thou hast brought down the pride of Ethiopia." Yes, he did, man. "And placed the crown of the southern underneath thy foot. Thou hast fought and overthrown and taken captive the enemy of Egypt and the scourge of the world. Lo, chained, he walk at thy chariot wheels. His soldiers are captive to thy sword, and his spoil is in thy hand. By the courage in battle, thou hast saved Egypt from desolation, filled her borders with peace, and covered her name with glory. Let thy power henceforth be exalted in the world like the sun in the heaven." They were praising Moses like YAHAWAH. "Let thy power henceforth be exalted in the world like the sun in the heaven, and thy glory and virtues only be equal of those the sacred deities themselves." So he praises Moses like he was praising a god, because they saw how Moses was fighting, aka Remeses. Remeses, with the gentle dignity and modesty which characterize him, his eulogistic address of the Egyptian pontiff. The queen long embraced him before the whole army, which cried, "Long live our queen! Long live Remeses, our general!" All the while, Osiris stood by the wheel of the chariot to which he was chained, his arm folded, and his bearing as proud as a caged lion. He did not even deign to look upon the queen, who he had been before held, and seems to be above or below all manifestation of curiosity, self-reliance, fearlessness, immobility characterize him. So They praise Moses. They give praise to the king, the queen. They give that, and then Ocaris, the Ethiopian king, was there, crossing his arm and stuff, looking all fearless and stuff like that. You know, what's up? Like, y'all Negroes can do hish to me, man. What's up with y'all? And then they were all doing the praises and stuff. This dude was standing there, act like he's still the king. Now, brothers, we got one more page, and then we're done. This is the final thing. This is the rule of war back then, okay? This is very serious. Preparation having already been made for national thanksgiving, the queen and Remeses descend from their chariots and led a procession consisting of the priest of On, the highest priest of Apis, the priest of Memphis. Okay, so they are going to make an offering to the god of war. Well, they say Mars over there. And after that, they're done with that. This done. This is page 242. This done, Remeses in a formal manner addressed the priests of the temple, presenting to the deity of all the prisoner and the spoil that taken to them. You see what they did here, brothers? You see what they did here? They brought all the spoils to their gods. They don't keep them, brothers. They offer it to their Mosai, to their God they raise. As the vast army could not enter the temple because they has way too many stuff, the army could not enter. So they give the captains, the captain of captains and stuff like that. They brought all the spoils inside of the stuff. Instead of giving that stuff to the Mosai, they brought it to a bunch of idols. All these customs and rites being ended, the army once more commences march. So they finish offering all the stuff, and then they are returning back, to their camp now. They are passing to the city, and beyond the pyramid of Cheops, daughter of the plain of Libya, where Ositasen used to review his armies, they pitched their camp prior to being posted in garrison in different parts of Egypt, ready again to summon the 3 days notice to go forth to war. So they go pay respect to Ositasen in the valley. The captives being delivered up to the authorities. So now the people, the captives, the people they enslaved, now they're going to give them to the authority because they belong to the crown now. Brothers, this is the rule of war. Understand this. This is what it was back then. To the victor go the spoils. And the spoils including human being. The captives were being delivered up to the authorities. This is very important. Were at once put to labor. At once, they put them in slavery. Not slavery like the Hebrews. They put them to work. At once put to labor in the service of the queen, and are already engaged in building temples, cutting canals, raising dikes, and embarkment in other public and state works. Some were purchased by the nobles, so they start selling them. Okay, some of those people, they already went to have them construct and stuff. Now you understand, a lot of those people were mixing with the Hebrews. They were like mistaking them for the Hebrews. They were in the mix with the Hebrews. Okay, they had some of their little slavery going on because they lost the war. But it wasn't harsh labor. It was just like they were employees. They were working for free, but they weren't beaten and stuff like that. Some were purchased by the nobles, okay? And the women, both Nubian and white, were distributed among the wealthy and noble families in the city. So they was selling the women because, again, they are women. They need maids, they need stuff, and they start selling the women. The Hebrew is only captive. Those are wealthy family that was buying them, brothers. Poor people could not afford a slave back then. Poor people could not afford slave. There was the nobles, the women, both were Nubian and white. Where this, what's they mean here? They mean both Nubian, blacks, and white, which mean like some of those people, they were Edomite looking people. Okay, were distributed among the wealthy and nobles family of the city. The Hebrew is only captive or serving in Egypt who cannot be bought or sold. You cannot buy a Hebrew. You cannot sold a Hebrew. They belong exclusively to the crown. Those who have them in their houses do not own them. For as a nation, they belong to the crown, but the queen's treasury is paid a certain tribute or tax for their services and must restore them whenever the queen commands them to do so. You could not buy, you could not sell a Hebrew person. They belong to the king, the crown. Now, for those people those Hebrews that were servicing other people in the houses, they pay a monthly, they pay taxes to the crown. Just like today, brothers. They don't know what to do with us. They can't send us to Africa. They can't send us to wherever because they are on our land. They put us in prison. And now they're asking what the hell I want to do with those people. They can't flee anywhere either because our Father is in the midst. The king of Ethiopia himself, after having been led through the city at the chariot wheel of his conqueror, was sent to royal prison. So they sent this dude to a royal prison, there to await his fate, which hangs upon the word of the queen. So they put this guy in a royal prison and his fate upon the queen. Is the queen going to hang him, kill him, or let him keep part of his kingdom, let him rule as a lower stuff? Because they do that. That's the rule of war, okay? It is possible he may be redeemed by his own nation with a vast ransom price, but if not, he will probably pass his days a captive, unless he consent to a proposition which will be made to him by the prince for recovering his liberty, namely the surrender of the northern half of his kingdom to Egypt, in order that he may be permitted the remainder. So they got a couple choices to decide. What couple choices? One of the choice: are you going to serve slavery and be a captive king, or are you going to give us the northern kingdom of your place, of your land? We will let, if you give it, we will let you rule, but you will rule under us. You will respond to us. That's what the quote unquote the ego does, brothers. That's what the ego does. They go around, they drop bomb on people. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then they told them straight up, you scumbag, now answer to us. They go another country and bomb them and take everything and say, we want death or you still want to rule. You answer to us. Okay, are you going to serve slavery or you want to stay in your country, but all the revenue going to come to us? King David did this too. That was the rule, brother. That's what it was back then. As half, listen this, as half a kingdom is far better than none. Any other monarchs would probably acquiesce, but the spirit of this king, whose looks and movement irresistibly make me think of a Nubian leopard, is so indomitable and proud. That means he's so stupid and proud that I believe he would rather die a prisoner in a dungeon than leave a king with a half a scepter. So Sesostri said, a half of kingdom is better than none. But come to compare this, how stupid this scumbag is, how stupid this guy is. He's most likely going to choose to die as a prisoner than to rule the kingdom instead of having the full thing for himself. This letter, dear mother, was being written in 3 to 4 different settings, okay? It was my intention to have given you, before closing it, some amount of meeting which I had with remarkable Hebrew, whose resemblance to Remeses, as it possible, more striking than of Miriam, the papyrus writer, of Amram, the royal gardener, but having quiet feel with the description of the mutual entry of Remeses onto the capital, I must defer to Sol on another occasion. Goodbye, your faithful son, Sesostris. All praises to the Most High. We're done with letter 19. Tomorrow, if the Most High will, we will take letter 20. All praises to the Most High, brothers and sisters. Give the Most High all praises for bringing us this knowledge. All right, this one's still working. All praises, brothers. Now let's have a small discussion about what we learned. Yeah. Okay, good. All praises. Now, brothers and sisters, you understand this guy, the Ethiopian king Okoris, was unskilled. He was proud. He was stupid. He brought everything to war. This is the Most High doing this, brothers. This is the Most High doing this. And you know why? Anybody know? Anybody know why the Most High did this? Anybody understand why did the Most High did this, brothers? Please let us know if you know why the Most High did this. Anybody had any idea on why the Most High did this? You see, the Most High put a very unwise fellow on the crown of Ethiopia. The reason why the Most High did this, the reason why the Most High have him bring all his riches, everything that he owned with him to Egypt, because the Most High have his plan for that. All those riches, brothers and sisters, you will find out at the end when the Most High sent all those plagues against Egypt in the Bible, all those spoils belong to the Hebrews. That was the Most High plan all along. He put a scumbag, a dumbass, upon the power and have him bring all the stuff unto Egypt. And after that, the Hebrews possess it. Wealth transfer. Thank you, brother Larry Cano Bryce. That was the best way to put it. Wealth transfer. Why do you think the Most High have the so-called ego and all the Gentiles out there going over there and rob each other and take all those wealth? You think they're gonna go somewhere with them? Those people are working for us. They don't know that yet, but they're working for us. Once they got all those stuff, stacking, all those rich guys, Elon Musk and those guys are taking all the gold and then hide them. They are hiding them for us. Once the heat is truly inside of the bum, they will give us those stuff. That's a checkmate. Checkmate. That's what the Most High does. Checkmate you. Okay. So that's what that is. That's why we don't worry about anything, brothers. All your wealth are being stored and fully and greatly guarded. Great substance. Great substance. Thank you, Sister Verb Schools of Thought. No, Sister Davida, they want sister. We're gonna be all over the world. If you transfer your wealth overseas, the only way to get your wealth away from here is to transfer it to another planet, which you can't. You transfer your wealth overseas, good. We got brothers live overseas. You keep it here, good. We live here. You keep it somewhere else, good. We live somewhere else. There's no way out of it, man. You'll be surprised what happened at the end. How those people were giving up their wealth to save them. Please save me, save me. That's the most I checkmate your ass, man. Now, brothers, we learn those people do the parades, they do all stuff, they do all sort of things. They celebrate, they give their guys praises for their victory. They ignore the Most High, they don't give the Most High victory and all that. They do a lot of stuff. So we recognize that, and we study from this. And the next chapter, you're going to see a lot more stuff going to be revealed to you. And this book is really deep, brothers. This is just study, okay? What we are doing here, we are connecting the dots. We are taking things and understand why the Messiah do certain things, why he let these foolish men come up with those old army and have them insulted the Egyptian gods, rouse their fury and brought to them all those riches because he wanted to set up. The Messiah is setting up things. Why he have Russia and all those people going over there, those things, he's setting up things. When he put the final key, when he pushed the last domino, well, the first domino is going to cause a chain reaction. Everything going to fall in place. That's why they call you a master chess player. Checkmate you. Mm-hmm. Brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, it was an honor for me to have you here. And this is good. It was good to be here. Still good to be here. And I'm very glad that we started together. We had fun and everything is good. So tomorrow we will pray. We'll study the next letter, and then we will do what the Most High want us to do. It was a pleasure, brothers and sisters. Remember, the Most High is everywhere. His throne is in your heart. Your body is a temple. That's where the Most High live. Keep the temple clean, brothers. Spiritually clean. Keep all those bad stuff, bad energy out of that throne of the Most High, man. Don't be soil the throne of the Most High. Don't cover the throne of the Most High. Uncover the throne of the Most High. Don't mess with him, man. You see what he did in this book. You understand all the stuff, all the massacre stuff, they leave them out, but a lot of people die. Brothers, fast, pray, repent, repeat. Today is Sunday. We already put our $5 challenge, which is the $40, which was yesterday. We're going to do something good for the Most High. Thank you for everybody that being here. It was a pleasure. By the power of the Most High vested in me, I'm leaving all of you in peace. Be at peace, brothers and sisters. Be at peace. I will see you tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time for the prayers, and then study again. Once we finish this book, we're going to take another book, and then we're going to take a break. I'll be on a little break and resting and give the head a little rest. Then I will come back, if the Most High willing, with the book of Jasher. We should be good. All praises to the Most High YAHAWAH. May the King reign forever. Shalom, and I'll see you folks tomorrow.